Dominique Wilkins, Hall of Famer, the Atlanta Hawks Vice President of Basketball and Special Advisor to the CEO. Neek joins us on the program. Neek, thanks for joining us. When's the last time you dunked?
Well, let's see. People ask me all the time, can I still dunk? And then, of course I can, but only problem is only on Fridays. I need a week to warm up.
When you got that nickname, the Human Highlight Film, you were in high school?
I was in 11th grade, and a guy named Howard Garfinkel gave me that nickname at five-star basketball camp up in Homestead, Pennsylvania.
And what did you think about that nickname?
Well, it was funny because, I got that nickname after an All-Star game. I scored 42 in the All-Star game. And my game was kind of unorthodox, and so they couldn't tell how I was scoring. So, to make a long story short, they said, we're just going to call him the Human Highlight Film. And I hated the name. But as I got older, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I can make a little money off this name. So it stuck.
You won the slam dunk contest twice, right? And then you lost out. You famously lost out to Michael Jordan in 1985. Does that bother you? Still bother you?
No, it doesn't. You know what? I look at it like this. The fact that they're talking about it 32 years later lets know it's the greatest dunk contest ever. We are forever joined at the hip. But no matter who won, the fans got their money's worth. But did I think I won? Absolutely, I do.
But Neek, if that was in Atlanta, who would have won that dunk contest? You or Jordan?
I don't won.
Okay.
I won. And Jordan and I, this is the first time in 32 years he and I even mentioned a dunk contest to each other. We've never talked about it.
When did you talk to him?
This weekend.
So what did you say? Does he acknowledge that you won that, Neek?
Yeah, he did. He did. But we were at lunch. We were sitting at the hotel, and he said, "Neek, you won." I said, "Okay, it's cool." I said, "Well, give me the check that they gave you. We call it even."
You don't want the trophy. You don't care about that. You want the check.
The check, man.
and then you lost to your teammate Spud Webb in the following year.
In Dallas. It was a real sentimental thing in Dallas. But Spud was great. He was great. He really was. But I probably won 4, but I got credit for 2. But it's all good.
What advice would you give Aaron Gordon?
It's tough when you lose 2 contests that you probably should have won. And I think he should have won both of those. It's hard for him to come back. I know it is. Because, he's thinking in his mind, okay, what else I got to do to win? And so for him, and he just saw some of his comments, it kind of only deter him from wanting to do it again.
Who do you think won the dunk contest?
I would say Gordon won. He definitely won.
Yeah, I like how people say, well, he didn't really jump over Taco Fall. He still jumped over. Let's say Taco's 7'5".
He is 7'5". Are you kidding me? I stood next to Taco the other night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy God, this kid is long. And the fact you went over this guy and grabbed the dunk, man, that's almost impossible.
Could you imagine dunking over Mark Eaton?
I wouldn't have tried. I wouldn't have tried. I mean, first of all, I looked at the accident waiting to happen, so I wouldn't even try it. But the fact that he attempted it and he was successful in completing that dunk, it's pretty amazing. I don't know what they were looking at.
Every time I have Doc Rivers on, I always make him tell me a Larry Bird story. You got a Larry Bird story?
There's a few. Some I can't tell, and some I can. Larry was a unbelievable competitor, and I remember first time I ever played against him in the Boston Garden. I'm a rookie, and I go shake his hand. He takes his hands and put behind his back.
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh, okay. Well, maybe he's just getting to the game. First play of the game, he said, "You don't even belong in this league," and he hits a 3. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he did it again on the second time down. So at this time, I'm pissed off. And so I'm coming down the wing, and he's backpedaling, and they pitch the ball to me, and I jump, and he jumped. And I said, I got him. And I dunked it on him. He fouled me, and I'm pointing at him. I'm talking crap. And he said, hey, rookie. I said, what? He said, I like you. He said, you got heart. He didn't say that, but I mean, you understand what I'm saying.
You got balls.
Right. That's what he said.
Yeah.
he said, but I'm still getting 40 on you tonight.
I still love that. You were on the court, I think, Neek, when Bird went off in New Orleans against you guys, when Cliff Levingston and Antoine Carr got scolded by Mike Fratello. It's still one of my favorite videos. Those guys it felt like they were rooting for Bird against their own team.
You know what? I made sure all those guys got fined $3,000 for that.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh, I was mad. Because we both had a great game. He had a super game, and he was so hot that he was shooting threes with his left. It was amazing. He's an amazing player.
But the trash talk that went on back then, like we never heard it, but now we hear about it. Who was the best trash talker?
Bird talked trash, but he wasn't one of those type of guys that talked all the time. He just tried to get into your head. But the guy who talked the most trash was Chuck Person.
Ooh, the rifleman.
He never shut up.
What would he say?
Never shut up. He'd just be talking random stuff. I remember one game we played against each other, and I think I had 42. I think into the third. And he says to me, you ain't scoring no more tonight. I'm locking you down. You ain't all that. I'm like, son, I got 42. I don't want to score no more. I'm tired of kicking your ass.
I still think you're one of the best in-game dunkers of all time. Sean Kemp is up there, too. Who else would you put in that category of actually doing it in competition? It starts with the granddaddy of us all, and that's Dr. J. Yeah.
Oh man, he was something in game. I tell you, guys that nobody ever talks about is David Thompson.
Yeah, we just didn't get to. He missed the TV era, Neek. He was.
Yeah, he did.
And he might have had the best vertical I ever saw.
Oh my God! If I tell you, when I was in high school, when he was at North Carolina State, I used to go to the practice up at NC State, and I used to see him cup the ball with his left and jump up and punch it through the basket with his right hand. I'll never forget that. He was the most incredible leaper I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But, of course, you got Michael Jordan, you got Vince Carter. I mean, one of the greatest in-game dunkers that I've seen.
If I said you could create your ultimate slam dunk contest, you and 3 others, who do you want?
Of course, Michael. The Doctor, Vince. That'd be a pretty good contest.
Yes, it would. Now, you were a great standstill jumper. How good were you at, Dr. J could take off from the foul line. Michael was one of those guys. Now, and granted, you guys could all, jump off two legs, but that seemed to be where you were most explosive. Why was that?
Well, it's always, you're always more explosive going off the 2 because you have more control. Even if you get hit in the air, you're still able to finish the play. A lot of times you call for 1. I mean, you're still explosive, but if you get hit just a little, it throws you off. But I started out as a 1-foot jumper. I could go from the free throw line and all that stuff, but I started jumping off for 2, and it happened by accident in a game, and it was against Milwaukee, against Bob Lanier along the baseline. And I just started using, going off of 2 feet more, as my career went on.
What's the best poster you ever created with one of your dunks?
Oh, man. That's a good one. Probably one against Robert Parrish, after a pitch from Spud. And, my thing was going to the rack hard, and I was trying to throw it down as hard as I could on big guys. So I think that, Bob Lanier along the baseline when I double pump, turned backwards and come back around. He's going down. I'm still going up. And, So, it's quite a few. It's hard to say one was better than the other. But it was some great moments.
What advice would you give Zion Williamson?
You know what? Zion is a freak athlete. He really is, man. The guy his size to do some of the stuff he does is pretty amazing. The thing I would tell him is that continue to grow as an individual as far as developing your game inside and out to make his game more well-rounded. But, the guy's 20 years old. He got all the time in the world to develop.
But I wonder what kind of player you would be today. Would you have to develop a three-point shot, Nick?
I had to. That's the thing that people don't realize. When you ask people about my game, what's the first thing they look at? Dunking.
Yeah.
I may have averaged 2 dunks a game. I had games where I had 40-plus game, only had 1 or 2 dunks in the whole game. I've always to shoot the ball from the perimeter. I shot the three. I made more than 500 threes in my career. But the three-point shot wasn't important to me. I only used it if I needed it. But yeah, I was a mid-range nightmare for guys. They couldn't guard me in the mid-range, but I could always shoot the three. So you asked me what would I do in this era?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it would be over 35 a game.
But I wonder, though, some of these, like how many threes would Bird have shot per game? Because back then, like you're right, first half of his career, these guys are shooting maybe 2 or 3 at the most because it wasn't considered good basketball.
Well, you know what? If you took a 3, it was fine. If you took 2 threes, it was fine. But if you missed your 3rd or 4th 3, coach was putting somebody else in the game. Because it was considered, a bad shot. And if you can continue to take bad shots, they'll put they'll put another guy in the game.
Trae Young's pretty special. You get to see him on a nightly basis. Who does he remind you of?
I love Trae. I mean, this little guy with so much heart, a lot of toughness he got for a small guy. But he's, people talk about his scoring, but the most impressive part about his game to me is his court vision and ability to make people around him better with his. I mean, the kid can freaking pass. Special player.
Did you see him nutmeg James Harden in the All-Star game where he put it between his legs, Nick?
He's been doing that all year.
I know, but against James Harden, and that, I don't know. The other guys, it feels like they're just random, but James Harden, it's like, whoa, he just did that to James Harden.
Hey, he doesn't care. The one thing about Trae, if he has an advantage, if he can use some of his skill to get by you with some of his tricky dribbling passing, the kid is amazing. I mean, I love that kid. I mean, it's just great for me to have a chance to. He and I talk a lot every day, before every game, and it's just special. If
I have Jordan on, I'll ask him about that lunch he had with you. He'll deny that he told you won that slam dunk contest.
Well, we were kidding each other, and he's like, "No, Nick, you probably won, yeah, man." And I said, "You know what, Mike?" And I told him, I said, man, the fact that we still talking about this stuff lets you know it's the greatest, right? And he said, "Absolutely." Yeah,
pretty good stuff. Hey, great to talk to you, Nick. We appreciate your time. You just turned 60?
It's kind of hard to roll off my tongue. But yeah, I just turned 60. Yeah, I just turned 60.
Yeah, if you're still dunking at 60, Nick, you're doing okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I can still dunk, but it's gonna be one of them little fingertip dunks. It's just scraping the top.
Thanks for spending time, Nick. We appreciate it.
No problem, guys. Thank you.
That's Dominique Wilkins, former NBA All-Star.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.